Hello, Year 6, it's Miss Jobbins here with your Lesson 5 in art. We hope that you're all well and you've been enjoying our fabulous art topic of this term called We're the Illustrators. It is Friday the 5th of February and this is your Lesson 5, and our lesson objective today is to learn and explore the different illustrations of Maurice Sendak. The success criteria is I can explore the different techniques this illustrator uses in their work, and I can create my own illustrations based on the illustrator's style of work. So today we are going to be looking at the illustrator and the author Maurice Sendak. So our first question is, who is Maurice Sendak? You might have heard of the name Maurice Sendak somewhere before. Take a look at the illustrations below and spend a couple of minutes thinking about where you might have seen them. Does this type of illustration look familiar to you? Where from? And write all your answer to these questions on a piece of paper. Once you've done that, we'd like you to take a look at some of his illustrations on the next slide and be ready to answer some questions. So you've got a picture here. After you've done that, make sure you pause the video, then come and have a look at these pictures. Take a good look at each of these illustrations. Think about the tone, the shading. Is it expressionist? Is it impressionist? Using all of our knowledge from last academic term. Think about the use of colour, the textures. What sort of materials do you think were being used in this? How old do you think these texts are, or these illustrations are? How long do you think they might have taken the author and illustrator Maurice Sendak? Look at the colours. Where and when do you think this is based? What time of year do you think this is based? Where do you think it's set? Have a really good look at these pictures and maybe write down some keywords and sentences about them on your piece of paper. Pause this video and come back. So looking at the images on the previous slide, so that's this one and these here, answer the following questions on your piece of paper. You need to answer all 7 questions, ladies and gentlemen, making sure that you answer them in Year 6, up-leveled, detailed sentences. I do not want anyone just going, I think he's used brown. You need to tell me if you think they've used a particular colour a lot, why do you think that? What sorts of materials do you think could have been used? Why do you think that? Where do you get this impression from? Remember, with something like this, when you're explaining it, you can always use your P, your point, evidence, and explanation with these types of answers. If you need to, you can always refer back to your reading page or your novel study page where it tells you more about P and the different types of sentence openers that you can use. But make sure you take each of these questions, where you take time with each of these questions and you are answering them as much detail as you can. I'm setting a challenge for those of you who can use some artistic technical vocabulary. Can you include shade, toning? Can you include expressionism, impressionism, the use of materials? Can you think about the shading that's involved in this? Can you think about the textures? Can you think, why has the illustrator done these pictures? And why and how do you think that they've made them as they are? Do they look real to you? Those sorts of questions are based on your own reflections that should be in full sentences. Once you've done that, pause this video, and then once you've done that, move on to the next slide. Who is Maurice Sendak? Maurice Bernard Sendak was born in June 10th, 1928 and passed away on May 8th, 2012. Was an American illustrator and writer of children's books. He became widely known for his book Where the Wild Things Are, first published in 1963. So some of you might have noticed that by these illustrations here with Max and the monster. Where the Wild Things Are was an instant success, even though some thought it to be too scary for children when it was first released in 1963. The book features wild things of a beast-like nature who have adventures with the main character Max, so like wild things like monsters. The book has won numerous awards over the years and has even been adapted into other media, including film. Born to Jewish Polish parents, his childhood was affected by the death of many of his family members during the Holocaust. So there might be a connection to one of our other author illustrators, See if you can write down what is our connection to one of our other author illustrators. Let's see if you can remember. Sendak also wrote works such as In the Night Kitchen, Outside Over There, and illustrated many works by other authors. Watch these videos to learn more about the illustrator Maurice Sendak. So if you click on the website page, there'll be a number of other videos that you can click on to learn more about him. As well as that, if you click on this picture here, it will take you directly to him having a chat with some people all about his life and his works, where there you can learn some more about him. Where the Wild Things Are, the plot. The story is of only 338 words. It's quite a short story. Focuses on a young boy named Max who, after dressing in his wolf costume, wreaks such havoc, so that's like trouble, and is really naughty, through his household that he's sent to bed without his supper, so his dinner. Max's bedroom undergoes a mysterious transformation into a jungle environment, and he winds up sailing to an island inhabited, so lots of things live on it, by malicious, meaning nasty, beasts known as the Wild Things. After successfully intimidating the creatures, Max is hailed as the king of the wild things and enjoys a playful romp, meaning a playful games and time with his subjects. So that's all the people who are under his reign, so all these wild thing monsters and beasts. However, he starts to feel lonely and decides to return home, to the wild things' dismay, so to their sadness. Upon returning to his bedroom, Max discovers a hot supper waiting for him. This book has also been made into a major film. Watch these videos to see the book and film trailer. Have a look through here. You can hear the story being read aloud. If you've never heard it before, please stop this film and make sure you watch it. And you can also have a look at the film trailer that you can also rent. So, your task one today, ladies and gentlemen, is to plan, design, and draw your own Wild Things monster in the style of Maurice Sendak. You need to think about the fine detail, the colours, the materials you will need to create your monster. Following things will need to be drawn in the style of Maurice Sendak. Now, before I mention the things that you need to have a go at, you need to think about planning and designing, ladies and gentlemen. By planning, we mean you need to think about all of these elements. Designing isn't just you drawing it and colouring it in, it's you also labelling it, ladies and gentlemen. Labelling the features. Labelling, if you were to make this, what would you label it? What would you make the hair out of? Why have you chosen those colours? Think about your questions from the beginning and implement them to this photo as well. I'd love to see your labels as well as your plan, your design, and your drawings. So you need to think about, when you're doing this, a monster, a hat or a piece of clothing that goes with your monster, an emotion on your monster's face, a background setting, a name for your monster, details, materials you use, and the target audience. So these all need to be thought about and planned, so you need to write some answers to each of these before you get going with your drawing. Each of these little side notes here, as you can see here, not in bold, are things just to provide you with extra information. So please make sure that you've read through them in detail. If you do have any questions or queries about anything, don't forget to ask your class teacher. We'd be more than happy to support you in your learning. There is also this sheet for task one. If you need it, you can use it as a basis to help your design and your plan for your own monster. You could always stick a piece of paper over this and have a go at these and then draw your monster there. It's up to you. This is also for those of you who might need some support in designing your monster. If you find it really tricky, you can print this off with a monster already attached to it. Maybe you'd just like to make some little changes here and there. The task two, ladies and gentlemen, is now that you've designed, planned and drawn your own monster, hopefully with some accurate labels in the style of Maurice Sendak, can you actually create the real thing? So using the resources you have in your home, design, plan and create your own your own monster. Recreating the front cover of Where the Wild Things Are, you will need to make your own version of the Maurice Sendak monster that you created. You will need to upload this to Class Dojo. So you need to think about the following: the size of your monster. What is your monster going to be made of? What materials will you need to make your monster? What colour will your monster be? How will you decorate your monster, and how will you create it? Are you going to need, like, what kind of resources are you going to need? How are you going to plan it out? As you can see here, I've added some useful ideas that you can use to support you. You can use all of these elements to support you. Perhaps you have them laying around in your house. There's always YouTube and things like that to help you support with your designs. You can see here there are cardboard box versions. Somebody's made a cookie or a biscuit monster. Maybe you'd like to go down the DT cooking route with that. Some people have made some paper plate ones. Some people have made some watercolor versions. Some people have made some toilet roll and card versions. Some people have made some cotton wool versions, which is really cool, and then dyed and painted over those. Some people have made some lolly stick versions, cardboard hat versions, sock, stuffed sock versions, little box versions, felt versions. You know those little cool things that you iron over, and they're really cool. Someone's even made their poor person. Someone's even made their family member or someone in the house as their monster. So perhaps maybe you'd like to have that with a paper mache head. Absolutely amazing. Once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, you need to remember to upload those, please, to Class Dojo too. And as in the end of all of our art pieces of learning and lessons, you need to make sure that you have a go at reviewing and reflecting on your work. You need to make sure that you answer all these questions in full detail with thoughtful and reflective manner, making sure that you've written exactly everything down in as much detail to the nth degree. So you've really gone into detail of why and how. What made you think these things? Why would you do that? Why is that really important? How would you change this next time? Make sure that they're thoughtful and reflective. And if you do need any help, please do not hesitate to get in contact with us. We are always here to help you. We hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and any questions, let us know. Cannot wait to see your final monster beastly creations. Good luck and have a lovely day. Bye.